Hello, this is a presentation of my final project for Instructional Design 2017. This is my Instructional Design WordPress. I scroll down to the bottom and there is the e-learning project. I'm going to go ahead and start with the teacher page just so you have an idea of what the lesson should entail. Click on that link, it takes a couple seconds. The title of my lesson are Communities. The essential questions are, what does a community look like and how does culture shape a community? There is my name there. I'm the author. The two mini lessons are part of a larger unit on communities. Lesson 1 will focus on the different types of communities, urban, suburban, and rural, as well as the difference between a community and a group. The second lesson will be a continuation of the same lesson, same unit, exploring culture and tradition within communities. The performance objectives are students will be able to understand the difference between a community and a group, compare and contrast the types of communities, and define culture and understand how it relates to communities. Here are my standards that are addressed, including selecting and using appropriate digital tools and resources under educational technology. There is some additional suggested follow-up for teachers. You can go to the Scholastic website, which gives you some information about communities. Or there is a YouTube video about communities that I did not create, but is brought to you by a different group. That is something you can look at. And there's BrainPop Junior, which unfortunately requires membership. I have a list of my image credits here from Lesson 1 and Lesson 2. So I'm going to go ahead back to the previous page and start with Activity 1. Okay, Activity 1, communities, what are they? I welcome my students and tell them what they're going to learn in this lesson. Difference between being part of a community and being part of a group. When we're finished, they'll be able to explain the differences between 3 different types of communities, urban, suburban, and rural. There is a short video screencast explaining what a community is and what a group is, which you should be able to play right here. Just like this, I embedded it in the WordPress site. I'm going to go ahead and pause that so I can continue. I give a little explanation of what communities are and what groups are, and I used a lucid chart to show the two different types, the two different words that we're using, communities versus groups. And there is a link here to the original lucid chart if you should choose to check it out. Then I go on to urban, suburban, and rural, and they are to go to the following link, save a copy in their Google Drive, turn and talk with their partner and discuss the differences between the pictures and make a list under each picture of what they notice about each type of community. So they would go to Google Doc and simply save a copy. And as you can see, there are images with credits here. These credits are also listed on the teacher page. Suburban, rural. Now that they've explored the different types of communities, it's time to practice. They can go to the IXL link and answer some questions about urban, suburban, and rural communities. And that goes to urban, suburban, and rural right here. Okay, so that was my presentation and interactive piece. The assessment piece is a Google form right here at the bottom where they can take a little quiz, answer some questions, and submit it at the bottom. And when they've completed the quiz, they can go on to Lesson 2. So here is a link, simply bring them to Lesson 2. And here we are, Lesson 2, Communities, Cultures, Tradition. In this lesson, they're learning about culture and tradition. I give an explanation of culture and what tradition is. Culture being the customs of a community, including food and clothing, rituals, language, etc. Communities are made up of multiple cultural groups and could have many more. Traditions are the beliefs and customs passed down through generations, usually within a family unit. So they would understand the difference between culture and tradition. They're given a chance to brainstorm about the community they live in and what the culture looks like, as well as the classroom. So they were given the assignment to go to this interactive whiteboard and put up some sticky notes with examples of culture within their communities and within our classroom. So they can click on that. Takes them to a whiteboard where you can see there's some sticky notes. It's very simple. They just put one up and then type into it. An example of culture would be eating latkes at Hanukkah. Just capitalize Hanukkah, and so on. After that, their assessment piece is to follow the link to a Quizlet where they can practice the vocabulary they have learned in the 2 lessons. So they click on Quizlet, and I am obviously already logged in, but they would not need to log in, and they would have the opportunities to use the vocabulary Quizlet that I created for them. And that is it. When they're done, they're done. And we go back to my original WordPress. You can see activities and teacher page. They are also linked from my front page, my portfolio, which I'll show you here. Scroll down to the bottom, and they are here, as well as the sandbox. All right. Thanks so much. It has been a great semester. Had a great time. Thanks.